Ignited souls. I hope you are ready to dig in deep once more because I certainly am ready to dig in deep once more. So, we are ready to look at our relationship that we are building with Aaron the high priest. And so, of course, we have looked at the scriptures where it says, "Oh, and Aaron dies," but we know, and Aaron is saying, well, whatever die mean. In fact, Aaron is saying, do the numerical value for the word die and see what it actually means. So there we go, DIE, and so this is 49495. Let's do this here, 495, and so this is 15 14 18. So 18 1 plus 8 is 9, and that is die. So basically, the sacrifice, of course, from 1 to 9 is that Jesus died, of course. And so that dying, of course, we see this is what Aaron is saying, Numbers 1 to 9. And now we have all Christians are calling upon Christ and the living Christ. So basically, this is what Aaron is reminding us: the death that we thought was, there is not that death anymore. That we are now in another dimension. We are, when we live what we think is that we call that which we call death, we are actually permitting ourselves to exist in another dimension. So basically, um, this is really wonderful to know. And Aaron is also reminding us that um, it is that death that is also necessary, that the spirit can re-emerge into another. It's like he's speaking through me now. It's like the message is coming through me now. And so it's like overlapping in the spirit world, in a sense that we become our ancestors, and we are now expressing to more fine tune our own existence. So that mouthpiece, that which he reminds me of, that he was the mouthpiece of Moses, and of course, having the mouth myself as one who speaks and who is teaching. So basically, we can see the relationship here. And so he's saying, like, in this relationship now, I am becoming a better speaker. Thank you. I really want that. Yeah. So this is wonderful to know. And Aaron is also saying that everything has happened in its time, that we can have this reference, or we have had those events as point of reference to helping us understand the different events that take place and how we can learn through them. Because if we had everything as in one long chunk, we would not be able to digest the full essence. So we are now able to look at Aaron, that equals 22 in the Bible, in chapter 20, because we are looking at now 2020. And he's saying, just look at this in the it's the water from the rock. This is where Moses, I think, could strike the mount, and there was water. But uh, it's on chapter 20, and he's saying, just look at chapter 20, and um, you are seeing today, you are seeing 2020. And he's saying this is where he in the scriptures there is the passing on there on chapter 22, which equals which coincides with 2020. This is where God calls him and Moses on Mount, let's do Mount, Mount, Mount Hall. Okay. And it says, of course, when we do the numerical value for this, which is 5, 2, and 8, 6, 9. So adding this together, let's do this. This is 15, this is 23. 23 is like the mouth, which is what he's saying. It's almost like the O here is like a mouth as well. We have two O's in here. So the circle And let's add this. This is 10, this is 18, this is 20. So 20, of course, 2 plus 5. 2 plus 5 is 7. And um, High Priest Aaron reminds us as well that 7, when we do the numerical value for the word 7, this also coincides with 20. So Aaron is really showing us the cycle of evolution here, how we have come about, and how nothing has really changed in that, apart from the fact that we have those experiences to help us to really mark out, or really mark out our progression or our evolution. This is about our evolution, becoming better expressions of the Creator. So basically, we are or experiencing ourselves. We are learning to understand that we are much more than we thought we were. So by actually having the reference as in Mount Hor, we could see that Moses, Aaron having died on Mount Hor, his energy, this energy and this transition that happened, the transition that happened where his cloak or the garment was taken from him and was given to his son, Eleazar, or I hope I pronounced this well. So it was given to his son Eleazar, and so that was the transition. So the mouth was very Mount Hor, which is like, because Mount is 20, and of course, if we did the numerical value for the word 20, it equals 8. And this is where we see that correlation, like where Mother Eve ate. The word ate equals 8, or to eat equals 8. And this is what had to be broken. So the act of brokenness here had happened by Aaron being stripped out of the garment with all the emblems of the 12 tribes of Israel. So that was taken away. And this is what Aaron is reminding us, that there is something that is being taken away from us right now, and that we have to be mindful that our voices, our mouth, which being covered right now, and a lot of people are transitioning as well, is a strong demarcation of that change that is happening. This is what Aaron is saying. Pay attention that the death that happened on Mount Hor, or as well, there were other deaths too that happened, but we going in particular with him dying on Mount Hor and transitioning into another realm, and his son to be taking the role of the high priest and putting on the garment of the father, was really the same thing that is happening in 2020 right now. And Aaron is saying that we need to be mindful of, just be conscious that we are being masked. There's a mask that is happening that we need to pay attention to, and not to be unafraid to express our voices, because our mouth is the mount. And it says to be mindful, because you think of your mouth, it can form mountains of words and mountains of whatever it is that we want to create. And so be mindful of the amount of things that you can perform with your mouth. And if you are keeping it quiet and covered now, how are you able to express coughing, smiling, singing, laughing, eating, chewing, yawning, um, all of those things that you could actually mirror from each other? And he's saying, okay, well, if you can't do it by mirroring from each other like you're used to, just be conscious of what is happening to you right now. And he's saying, be mindful that your voice is not taken away without your consent in the way that you want to. Aaron is saying that this COVID-19 and this coronavirus has as a demarcation of the transition that we are meant to make, because it's all about the mouth again. He's saying it is about breathing, it is about speaking, it is about sharing. It's all about, and we see about sharing, because the garment was taken off him and put onto another. So this we are seeing as a strong demarcation of a transition. And there's a lot of transition happening now, whether it's a transference of the virus or not. But the main essence, or the main lesson for us to do, is to pay attention, is to be mindful of our actions, and that we are not stifling ourselves and allowing others to suppress us of that gift that we have been given. He keeps touching her. He keeps saying, be mindful of the voice box. He keeps saying that you have a voice that is been given to you. And perhaps this is another thing he's saying, is that this moment we are in quarantine, is to be very mindful of how we use our words. Be very mindful of the words we use. This is done not by chance, so that we can begin to really be more particular about the words that we use, and be very thoughtful, not just speak just widely, but be selective with our words. Be selective. That's why he's saying he was not just a mouthpiece by chance. He was a good spokesperson, an eloquent speaker, and a wise person. So this is why now he has introduced himself to the world to remind us of the importance of speaking proper and speaking with wisdom, great wisdom and understanding. So this is the message that the high priest Aaron has for us right now. And I am asking, please, I do want to be able to speak with wisdom, understanding, and clarity. So thank you, Aaron. So now we have added 5 plus 2, and we see that it is 7. And also we know that 20 is 8, which we have covered. 23 actually would be because 20 is 8 and 3 is 2, so this is 10. So in actual fact, if we were to look at 23 in its entirety, that would be 10, as in the word 20 is 8 and 3 is 11, so 8 plus 2 is 10. And he's saying this is where Mother Eve actually, here as the mouth, reminded us of 23. And in Genesis chapter 1 verse 3 is there Mother Eve uses her mouth and says, this is the said God we are speaking about. And Mother Eve says, let there be light. And there was light, because Mother Eve was not just speaking silly. Mother Eve is the spokesperson, and Mother Eve is the word that was in the beginning was the word, and the word was God, and the word was with God. This is Mother Eve, and this is why Eve is in everything. Eve is in whatever you want, whenever you want, whichever you want, whosoever you want, whenever, and so on. And nevertheless, all these Eve in there, all those words, even, ever, every. Mother Eve is in all of those, forever, more and more than ever. Mother Eve is in all of those words. And so and this is all about the mouth. The word mouth actually equals, so mouth, MOUTH, which is 4, 6, 3, 2, 8. And adding this together is 10, 23. Here we have 23, just like in Hall, the Mount Hall. So we can see that the correlation is very, very direct. This is what Aaron, the high priest, is really wanting us to see. And Aaron, the high priest, is also saying that We need to start using our mouths to confess what it is we want, what it is. And he's saying now it may seem like we don't know what we want because we are relying on external people to tell us or what they want. And Aaron is saying no, it's time for us to start envisioning and imagining, because the creation is done through imagination. And Aaron is saying that we need to now imagine what it is we want, and speak it out, speak it into being, and be wise in that which you speak. Be for and of course there's a lot of emphasis on meditation before we ask or before we speak into being. But be wise and think of what it is you want to speak into, so that not just you benefit through it, but others benefit through it. So this is really really grateful and thankful for Aaron to really give us such wisdom here. Oh yeah, Aaron is saying yes, I need to do the numerical value for the son Elazar, Elazar. So yeah, so the garment was put onto from Aaron, because Aaron is 22, and it was put onto his son. So it's 5351819. Adding this together, this is 10, this is 24, 27, and 32. Oh wow. So this is really interesting. This is 32. I'm just going to double check again. 10, 19, 24, 27, 28, 29, 32. So we see that this is why Aaron is saying to us to be mindful of, not just mindful, that we need to get into numerology to make sense of our world and our names. There's a lot of emphasis on our names as well, because that has gone from the last from one of the presentations I did with Neo and Morpheus, but Neo, Neo, as Neo as in the Matrix. And it says, of course, this was really a delicious meal as well, because when Morpheus says you are the one, meaning ONE is the same letters as NEO for Neo, and so that equals 7. And we saw that we had that 7, which is what Mount or is 7, and this is what we the Morpheus was saying to Neo, you are the one, you are 7, you are 7, 7 is one, 7 is whole. So basically there's a wisdom in there that is so tangible, that's so delicious, that we need to understand when someone speaks to us, that it's a language and a parable that is being used, but sometimes we take it so literal that we lose ourselves. But perhaps we need to lose ourselves to find ourselves. This is what Aaron is saying. We need to. So we see 3 plus 2 equals 5. And so basically, Aaron's son was another mouthpiece, and Aaron is saying this is exactly what he's explained to us in what he has just spoken to me about. That he was Moses's mouthpiece, and Moses was 8, and he being Moses's mouthpiece is that the energy that is being transferred to us right now, as he is still speaking to us now, and he's passing on his skill onto us, so we can see the greatness of that skill, how was passed on to his son by the cloak or the garment that he was covered with. And it would be interesting for us to explore the whole story a little bit more. Perhaps even the word garment might hold another key that is important. But we see that the word key, having said that, KEY, is 257, that equals 14, and so this is 1 plus 4 is 5. So the garment in that case was the symbol of the key that was necessary to, of course, the garment was when the high priest went into the tabernacle, and we could say, because that the garment was specific to had all these specific requirements, and so we could say that that was the key for going in and going out. It had to have bells, and it had to have pomegranates at the hemline, and there were so many things. So we could say that the garment was a representation of the key, as well as it was the mouth of Aaron. So this is really delicious. I hope you have enjoyed this. I hope you found this really delicious myself, as I have myself. And I am thankful for the gods, and of course with Aaron. I should say gods and goddesses and our ancestors, and really just be grateful and thankful for this wonderful meal. And I just so love you. So give us likes, of course, and subscribe, and do share, and invite your friends and family for the next meal or partaking of our deliciousness. Thank you, and stay ignited.